Wasn't Concord also a town in Fallout 4? I believe so, yeah. I mean, like, I'm just, like, not interested. Like, it just looks okay. Oh, wow. Like... I don't want to be any of these people. I mean, this guy's got a cool fit. It doesn't really match, but it's a cool fit. All right. Well, anyway, we got some game deving we're doing today, and so that means that we should probably switch this over to game. Was it software and game development? Look at Star Child. Concord Star Child. Oh. Oh, it's blue Thanos. Blue and red Thanos. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, this game looks like ass. Okay, so when we're talking about game dev stuff, there's essentially when we're gonna be doing Godot, and we're doing a card game. Okay. They unmixed his pigments into red and blue. Yeah, he should have just been purple. All right. We're gonna use like this for a second to talk about like game design stuff when it comes to programming. So the current thing that I have to do hands and do card game stuff is shit and not working. Mostly because I don't understand it and the documentation's not there. So what is a card game and what do you need in order to make a card game? Well, you need cards. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. Actually, let's just turn on a shit ton of stabilization to make my handwriting look better. All right, so cards. Maybe a little bit less so we can write at a reasonable speed. Okay, cards. Okay, that does seem like a thing you need in order for cards games to exist. We do need their value attached to them, as in what suit they are. What... I'm not really sure if I care about like what suit they are, but what rank they are does matter. The thing is that I'm probably gonna cut out like all the diamonds and clubs or something. And then special ability. Because they're going to have special abilities according to what rod you have. So in relationship to that, we do need to have the rod coding. But that's not where we would add that. We would do... So the cards, also we need a deck. Well, what's a deck? Well, there's the deck list, which is the list of cards in it, which is going to be rod, etc. functionalities. Then we have the deck itself, which is made up of the cards. We have the hand. That's another thing that we need to have. Hand. And the opponent's hand. Because there's only one deck, we only need one deck list. We need a place to put. Like, we need a way of activating these effects. We need the cards, we need the deck, we need the deck list, we need the ability to... Okay. So I think that's everything? I think that's everything. Okay. Let's just raw dog this shit, because I don't know what I'm doing. It doesn't matter. An easy way to do this is to make the deck image and then have a program read each thing on that deck image as a separate card. Oh, like a sprite sheet sort of thing. So I think that what we want to do is we want to go ahead and get rid of example 1, delete, yes, and delete example 2. Assets I add, I think we get rid of this, don't save. Assets, we have the cards, okay, we can use those. Simple card UI. And we can get rid of that because that's not useful anymore. And there's nothing else in add-ons, so we'll just delete it. And now we cleaned up a bit. All right, well, I think we need to have... oh, we should probably figure this out as well. Let's make that invisible for a second, and then... left side, near shop. Erase. Delete. Delete. There we are. All right. And one thing I realized when I was talking about like trying to figure out how to load all the areas, I think when you're what's weird is when you're here, you're gonna end up loading in a whole bunch of areas that you don't need to. I don't know if that's gonna be better or worse. All right, well, we have all those canvases done. They're ready to go. And they don't have hitboxes or anything. That might be worth something to do, but I think that saving all scenes... Ooh. Are you gonna be okay? There's a lot of debug shit that you just said was bad news bears. What was that all about? Are we good if I do save all scenes again? It's always gonna have an issue with that. Huh. What, is there a way to get... I don't think there's a way to get rid of that. Howl's Moving Castle is apparently going back to theaters for its 20th anniversary in September. That's awesome. It's still looking for the cards. That's a little scary to me, because that's like, what do I do with that information? I think the answer is fucking nothing. New scene. This will be a 2D scene called Card. And, my God. Check the script tab. Ah, it is. It is. Can I pick a different script, maybe? Will that be enough to just get it to stop talking about it? We're trying to make cards. I'm sure that can I just like remove these? Close all. Discard. Discard, 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 discard. We're done. All right. Cool. Oh, I've got an idea. I just need to do it. All right, so we need to have a add a child node. We're gonna need a 2D sprite. Card. All right, so this is like card back. And then maybe another front. Oh, right. 2D. Just regular. I don't think it needs to be animated. Unless if I want to do it as an animation to switch it between... I mean, that would be a way to do it. It would just be ass to do. All right, and this will be front and back is gonna go here. All right. And then front. I mean, should it just change states between... How much of this can I change? I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. This is gonna be a card. That I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'll be right back, and then we're gonna do art. Be right back. 2 minutes. I think the first trick that I need to do for this game is that I'm gonna need to make a JSON file for the deck of all possible cards. Then I need to have an element or like a function that's like the rod and then the lure and then the bait. I think that for now, what we're going to do is we're going to bring this up We're gonna work on literally just like his house and the area surrounding it, like that area. You could just have all the cards be individual Godot scenes. That's what is 52 divided by 2? 26? It's a lot. 26 Godot scenes. It could be the right answer, but it does seem like a lot. I'm working on a game right now with over 100 scenes. Okay, all right. So maybe it's worth. That is a lot of scenes. Rate lore is here, so like, you know, there's that, but like also, what is this? Okay, so that's like the guidelines for where things need to be. I can probably get rid of that. But we're gonna make a real quick outline of where the building needs to be. And so the house needs to be like a little bit away from the wall. I don't know shit about Godot. I mean, like, that is a way I could do it. There was a more elegant solution that was made by whoever made the game that we were just looking at. Or that one thing they made there. Can I get a triangle? Just want to see a triangle rotate through space. Primitives. Plane. Sphere. Pyramid. Can we change how the pyramid looks? Where is the pyramid? Is it below all of these things? Pyramid, where'd you go? Oh, hello. That is not what I wanted. I think I could probably just do like a fuck me. The problem is that it's like I want to do an A-frame house, so it's gonna be like this, but like because it's an A-frame and because of the partial skew that we're trying to do, I don't think. Well, I think the JSON file would be just for the what is the contents of a deck, you know? Like by default. My God. I mean, that could be the right answer. It's rough though. Jesus. So you need to be able to, so when you're doing this like partial like top down, like it's somewhere close to isometric, you don't get to see you don't get to see all sides. If it were a cube, you would see the top and the front at the same time and no other sides. So in an A-frame house, right, you really should only be able to see the one side, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just add a little bit and then it'll look okay. And I think we should have like a little like maybe window here. So the thing, okay. So the A-frame house that I'm talking about, let me see if I can, let me just, yeah, okay. Send fashions. There we are. Okay, check it. This is what I was thinking the house should look like. And then the dock's like that. Thinking a JSON file would be, all right. All right, and then art for real will go here. There we are. All right, so like I'm tempted to listen to someone talk about it, but maybe we can also just talk about some of the things that need to happen in it. I did see their tutorial on how to fan cards. I should probably look into that. They probably, both ways probably have their merits. Probably so. But, you know. And I'm not sure how long this dock needs to be either. It would probably just end up doing whichever one works out better for you. I mean, true. All right. And I think once autumn hits, because I'm going to use like an autumn kind of theme for a lot of the stuff in this game, I think I'm going to need to go take a shit ton of photos of like trees and riverbanks and stuff. Luckily, there's a lot of those nearby. So like, you know, I can just go find a riverbank and hang out. See a thing. We saw a muskrat or something the other day when we were walking around. I don't know what the fuck it was. Some little fella. But it hit as soon as we saw it. Could have been a beaver? Should we use the fella scaler to see how big the dock is? So we did previously, and I think that this is fine. But we can move him over real quick. All right, so this is him on the dock. Like that looks good, I think. Saw a pair of coyotes the other night. We didn't get a good look at it, so I don't know if it had a big old tail like a beaver would. Boop, boop. Boop. That being said, I saw like a beaver in town like 2 weeks ago. Okay. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a beaver, so like there's that. Nice marmot. Okay. A shingle tile roof done in a painterly style is the current goal. So we're definitely gonna just like paint in this entire area. Let's go ahead and just make it black. And I think that this little like window will also be kind of dark, but it probably won't be as dark. And then we're probably gonna just like erase out some of this stuff here. I like how like uneven the paint looks. It's good. Oh, right. And then for this, I really want to just build up rather than use, because that's what I learned the other day when we were making art in this style, was that the trick is to use basically never use the eraser, never use layers. Now we will be using the layers here for function reasons. Like I think that the flowers need to have maybe like a different sway to them, because it needs to be below where the character is, but needs to be able to wiggle or get destroyed or whatever we're going to do with them. I don't know. Flowers, you know? Okay. This is going to be kind of our first check to see if we can actually make this aesthetic work for this. I mean, I think that the little platform that this is on needs to... I mean, it's definitely not the right size for a... Be a little pathway or something. I don't know. We can make this smaller again. Let's see if I can find that. Maybe I just look up that guide I found on how to do... I think that it's going to start getting kind of... I mean, the banks need to be kind of this brown red color. That's basically the right color. Then let's do the dock then. Okay. If we'd use... So we could use a JSON to just list every card that's going to be in the deck. That's fine. And then we use... I don't know. Also, I need to make sure that I need to have a water layer as well. So we should just have like a water tone. And then we probably want to like switch out the water tone with other stuff. Like a separate layer that we can animate. But we probably only animate out as far as like you can actually see, because animations are definitely going to be chunky boys. Chunky boys. All right, palette knife, rough brush. Okay. I mean, we can't use really... We don't want to use pencil lines, because that's not how reality works. Reality doesn't have clean little pencil lines like that. Just has, you know, color mixing. Lines, and lines from where a shape begins and ends. And that's really the trick in doing painting, is to realize that that's the case. And here, though, we do have some cracks in the planks, and those need to be drawn in and shaded. Wildlife is super common here, despite it being so urban. Yeah, I've been noticing that here as well. It's kind of cool, because, like, there's so many fellas, like, the other day when we were on a walk, Tilda was like, oh, that's a woodpecker hole in this tree. I'm like, oh, yeah. I'm like, wait a minute, what? I've never seen a woodpecker before in my fucking life. Not in real life. So it's just kind of like, oh, wow. You're right. That is a woodpecker. There's a couple of semi-wild peacocks just down the road from you. Interesting. They're assholes. Really are. Kind of evil creatures. I probably need to do like a little bit of like dirt and mud and shit on this, but I don't know how much to really go for there. Let's go ahead and bring this. I love woodpeckers. They're neat little birds. I would love to see one in real life, or to hear one in real life, but to see like a hole left by one proves that they exist in this area. And I'm just like, wow. That's Woody Woodpecker right there, you know? Supposedly, I think Brazil is very, like, into Woody Woodpecker. I think it was Brazil. It's something like Brazil, or like something like that. I don't know. They leave a lot of holes. They've got a dotted grid in my front yard tree. I mean, yeah, it seems fairly destructive, but like, you know, also like, wow, bird. Isn't that wild that like a bird just developed the idea to drill into a piece? Like, what was the first fucker who did that? You know? Like, who is the first woodpecker? Also, I'm about to do something that I should have done to begin with. Bop. 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 All of this should recede to the same point somewhere. I don't know where. It's off over there. And then this all lines up with that. Cool. All right. So then that means that we can just do... Gotta zoom out every little. Brazil loves... I still remember that post that summoned a lot of Brazilian people burning a guy that said that Woody had 0 fans. Easiest way to do perspective is just cheat. These planes do have to be like fairly organized. So like, you know, works. You can be this like weird about like making sure all the slats are going to fit correctly when it's like this. It's not, less so, but you know. All right. And now we use the big old eraser. We just go. And then we erase all this and all this. And then it's just from there, it becomes. Actually, we could probably just do this select. Oh, well, if I drew it in a straight line, it'd probably work. Okay, there we go. And I mean, it probably should line up here, like a little bit better than that. But that's probably fine too. And then we want to probably blend all this shit in a little bit. And then this does not need to exist. That does, though. Why is Hanna-Barbera still popular in Brazil? Like what about Woody Woodpecker speaks to the Brazilian spirit that doesn't speak to the American one? Hey, Kobold, how you doing? Just vibing, doing the things. I don't know about you. All right, we're gonna merge these layers in, and that way, it's just that they still play on TV. Interesting. I mean, yeah, kids. I mean, I watched that shit when I was a kid, but also it was like that's all Cartoon Network really had. They didn't really have like a, I don't know. They had no like real pre-established stuff for their network, so they basically just didn't have content on the network for a bit. Like very early in Cartoon Network's run, they were just sort of like, I don't fucking know, man, like something. One of these, like they were just throwing shit at the wall for a while. They didn't even have Dexter's Lab at the time. No. Dexter's Lab was like, they got around to it eventually, but they did not come up with that immediately. I want to say Dexter's Lab was definitely one of the first ones they did, but, you know, simultaneously, they also, like, didn't... It wasn't together initially. And then I do think I need to add a little bit of, like, a darker gray for, like, under here. I mean, this would probably just be wood or something. Not until Cartoon, yeah. Alright, later, Jiggle. I think that just, like, vibing could be an okay stream. The main issue is there's just not any good games until Space Marine comes out. I already played a lot of the stuff that I want to, and I'm broke. So, we'll just wait until good games are available for me. Ah, it was a morning show, and it was like a big deal because it was one of the only ones that I did half decent. I see. Well, that makes sense. I think I want this to be like a couple shades lighter. So let's see if I can just like paint it and then maybe, or darker, excuse me, not lighter. What the fuck? If I can paint this like so, and then like maybe like lighten it up a bit and then like merge down because it's like, and then we got this green, like, I mean, like the green needs to really like kind of be on top of that. I mean, like getting a sheer layer effect like that is not super easy to do with real paint, so it doesn't look super right now. I mean, this looks like ass. I think I'll add another layer that's just kind of black. Spanish dubs tend to go all out. The VAs emote in ways that English voice actors don't. What kind of game are you making? We're making a fishing card. It's Animal Crossing with Go Fish, with pathologic, like, go fuck yourself energy. It's exactly like Chrono Trigger. Not really. I'm basically just making a game that I would play. And, you know, whatever with the rest of it. And what I want is a game that uses the mechanics of a video game to actually be a video game. You know, rather than all these games that go, oh, we tell a story, and we do so by ignoring the fact that we're a video game entirely. I hate that shit. I hate that shit so much. There's so many garbage games out there. I'm done complaining. I'm just gonna make it myself. I'm gonna fix this problem myself. Games can be smarter and funner and more like, it can be more to them than just this. They can be made cheaper and better than this. You can always play Chicory or Thank Goodness You're Here. I probably need to play both of those. But, you know, like I said, don't have the money for it right now, so I can't. And that's why we're doing game dev instead. Yeah, I mean, like, game deving is kind of hard, but, like, I find it very rewarding, I'll be honest with you, and I honestly think that everyone should give it a go. Because, like, what if you fucking like it, man? Like, what if? Alright, we're gonna add some, like... I mean, we could probably just do this. So many huge spreadsheets detailing every game I'd never actually make. I mean, like, I was talking about doing another game jam, but, like, part of me is like, what if we did a game jam where the game jam was just to make resources in order to make games? Or to learn some basic stuff about, like, Godot or RenP or whatever. Or we could all just use Godot and all kind of learn it at the same time and hang out. Like, that was kind of just an excuse to remind you of Chicory. I mean, I've been seeing a lot of stuff about Chicory lately, and I think I just need to play that game, man. I think I really just do. Rev accidentally creates a game publishing studio or a game dev team. I mean, I mean, the idea would be that I would, like, get you guys into teams to work on making asset. I mean, I essentially did just make... Yeah, I essentially just remade the idea of a publisher, I guess. All right. Did I ever play Overwatch? Not much. I bought like the collector cool guy edition where you got the Bastion skin, and then just like never really played it that much. I mean, yeah, indie publishers can be legit. I mean, how's the Karl Marx game selling? It comes out on the 30th. And it is getting a day one patch to deal with some of the graphical stuff that I want to do to it. I mean, go for it, man. What does a tree look like in this stuff? I mean, I think it would just look like looking at a tree, wouldn't it? I guess so. So should they be maple or pine trees or something? Oh, right. Playdate is the console thing. I'm like, I don't know. Sorry, man. Trees in autumn. Like gold, yellow, red. When do the leaves change color this year? Thank you. I just need to have a reference so I can figure out how to do the colors. All right. So we're going to want to add a whole bunch of yellow to this because that is probably closer to the actual color that we want here. And then we probably want to draw like maybe little drawings of where stuff is. Yeah. I did not make the itch page yet. No. Twitch was just being difficult about like uploading it. It wasn't a big deal. It was not a big deal at all to deal with, but it was like a thing that needed to be handled. I'm sorry. What? No. It doesn't have to be all the way to there. The fellow tester could go... He can go all the way to here. Like, the trees clearly stop him way before then. Yeah, as long as the fellow tester can never have the square, like, inside going outside the bounds, we should be fine. Alright, fellow tester. I mean, I'll make the itch.io page after the Steam page because I think that I'm not supposed to, like, be competing with myself right now. What does a path look like? How much Godot have you learned so far? Not enough to really be functional. And that is kind of my issue. Now all you have to do is send the trailer to IGN or something. I mean, I don't know where I don't know. You have to just have the same price. I mean, like, it's not out yet is the thing, right? Am I going to follow the tag? Absolutely. I don't know how I would really come across knowing when it is streamed. I would have to check daily, hourly almost. Like, who the fuck is gonna play that? Like, who plays the Communist Manifesto, Dami Kami Mami Adventure? Horny people? That's why I was like, I really need Hassan to play this, because then people would be like, you know, memeing about it and shit. But That's not how you make games. Though it did, like, come up as an idea. I think that these are kind of like bubbly. So like they're going to have like a little bit of a preference for a shadow on one side over the other. Gotta send it to VTubers. I mean, I sent it to a bunch of people. It's just kind of a toxic thing to try and stream. Because it involves talking about communism to your chat. And most people have not read theory. Most people don't do politics. Most people just want to survive. So who the fuck is reading this? I thought communism was a meme. It is. It is a meme. A meme that will save the world or destroy it. We don't know. Communists say that next time it'll be better. Everyone else is like, hey, kind of went bad last time. For me, it's not that touchy of it. I mean, the Communist Manifesto is pretty short. It's like a 2-hour read at that. Most of it's fairly plain English, and you can skip the third chapter where he's just bitching about other like communists doing communism wrong. And honestly, you can probably just go to the part where he's like, here are the basic tenets. It's not the best political theory book that you could read, but it's not bad. It's just kind of a lot to read. Manifesto isn't even the best thing he did. Not really. No, I mean, Manifesto is meant to be just simple, plain, down to earth ways of talking about capital and its effect on the proletariat, which is anyone who's not rich. Communism is always going to have the problem that you are giving a shit ton of power to the people who just overthrew some sort of government to make it not capitalist anymore. So it's kind of awkward. I'm not gonna lie. That's not exclusive to it's not. No, that's just how coups work. Yeah, and that's the thing is right now it's really got to be like, I don't know. People are like, "Oh man, it's coming any day." And I'm like, it's not though. Like who the fuck reads the Communist Manifesto? You know? I mean, like, yeah, the United States was involved in a lot of those coups. That is true as well. But simultaneously, like, I don't know. I have concerns. All right, we merged that layer down. I don't know what's going to be going on behind the house. And I don't know what the pathway needs to look like. That's like a little like roof window for the A-frame. And then I want to have like a I think I want to make like a chimney as well. So there's going to be like a maybe gray for the chimney? Well, a lot of these like and I probably don't want to have a smoke texture coming out of this because, like, if we're going to do that, that would be animated. He did change quite a bit over the years, and he's more complex than people make him out to be. I mean, yeah. And, like, you know, they were trying to come up with like a way of easily talking about this really complex thought of what if we didn't do things the way we've been doing them. Like, that's a lot to try and, like, I mean, people still don't quite, I wouldn't say get it, because get it would imply that people actually read it. I got my problems with the dude. I got a lot of problems with the dude. But particularly, like, the overcommitments to, like, a state and, that's not good. We don't need to have the state involved in this shit right now. You made a game about him. Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't hate him that much. Yeah, it's kind of like I agree with him that capitalism sucks. I think that's a fairly, like, easy win, you know? Like, capitalism sucks. No shit, Sherlock. Thanks for letting us know. You're right, though. I mean, I feel like that those kind of things need to be said. You need to have those critiques. But, like, his, like, so what we're going to do is we're just going to give all the money to the people who just overthrew the rich assholes who were hoarding all the wealth last time. It's like, I'm a little not about that. I think that's going to inevitably keep making the same problem happen over and over and over and over and over again. But that's me. Isn't North Korea a Marxist or a communist state? Yeah, so depending on who you talk to, depends on whether or not they agree with you on that. I don't know enough about Korea in order to argue with you on that one, but I would say that they definitely do call themselves that, and they don't? Not even by their own claims. Well, there you are, then. And then there's, like, a wire that connects the roof to this. They officially stopped being communists years ago. I see. I did not know that about them. Communists will generally say that, like, that's not real communism, regardless. But I'm not a communist, so I don't have to. Well, not a state kind of communist, so it doesn't matter. I don't have to defend that. Or Stalin, which is great. Not having to defend Stalin or Lenin or their actions at all. I mean, like, we left the line in there in the song, but otherwise I really did try and stay fairly far away from them, just because, like, they actually did order the deaths of a lot of very innocent, not bad people. And they did also kill Nazis, so that was cool. But, like, you know, aside from that, and then this needs to be cleaned up a bit, so that way it's like, how do we do this to get it so that way it flattens out more? I think that it just needs to be, like, I just need to get some light here on it, like, maybe? And then I need, like, a black for right here. Which way is the sun coming from? The sun is coming from up there, so I don't know. I think at the end of the day, everyone just wants to be able to have food and shelter. And everyone's got different solutions on how that's going to come about and how we're going to do that. And some of those ideas are good. Some of those ideas are shit. I think that this thing needs to be even more up and down. Like, it needs to be, like, barely actually drawn up and down. Like, I think I should just, like, honestly, maybe just get rid of the pole and redo it as, like, let's do, like, a gray or something again. But, like, that, and then, like, we just throw a hole in the top of it. We're good. We've been watching we got done watching Psychonauts, me and my wife. We've been watching, like, random Let's Players, like, no commentary runs of games. And so we did Sly Cooper, and we kind of got bored of Sly Cooper about, like, 75% of the way through the second one. It's kind of like, all right, I don't really care about the plot anymore. It kind of got, like, kind of fizzled out. Psychonauts was incredible. She really liked that one. Very, like, it's very Tilda energy in a lot of ways. And then we started watching another game that I haven't played, done by Double Fine. We watched, I want to say, like, 90% of... Oh, fuck. What is the one with Manny and Glottis and... Oh, fucking hell. I can't remember the name of it now. Grim Fandango. Right, yeah. We started watching Grim Fandango, and that one's going over really well with Tilda as well. She's not familiar with the adventure game format, so she's just like, wow, I've never seen a game like this. Grim Fandango is a banger game. It holds up really well, man. It had some really BS puzzles. I mean, yeah, that's one of the advantages of watching, like, a Let's Play of it, is I don't have to actually play it. Did you mention / watch Costume Quest? I forgot that they did that. Is it good plot-wise? I remember when it came out, like, that was, like, early Vine Sauce. I think Vinny streamed it. Day of the Tentacle? I don't know, man. Maybe? I didn't play Psychonauts, but it was good. All right, so to do the shingles, well, first off, I don't even know if that perspective is going to work. I don't think that perspective is going to work. I think that I need to add, like, a little bit of an angle here. Like, literally just maybe angle the building slightly. So that way it, like... But if we do that, we have to redraw the... It's not really top down. I'm going for, like, pseudo top down. And, like, right here is very wrong. It's not isometric. It's like pseudo top down, I think is the term. Let's put the fella tester in there. I mean, like, that doesn't look like it's gonna go into his house at all, man. I might have to, like... Okay, so that's the entire house. What are you? You're part of this as well. Okay, cool. Try something. What makes it pseudo? It's... You can see a bit of the roof when you normally wouldn't be able to. Isn't that isometric? Isometric is 45 degree. So like, okay, hold on. You've got, okay, so let's just zoom in on a random portion of the world and I'm just gonna draw some shit real quick. So you got top down. So top down is like, you see the world as a series of like, you got your guy's head and he's got his arms to the side and it's top down, right? Isometric, however, you have, you know, you can see, like in Diablo, you can see like maybe a little bit of pretty much every side but one, or every side but two, right? And then there's what I'm doing, where it's, instead of having like where you see the corner like at that angle, I guess that angle, it's more like you see a cube like this, where you get to see a little bit of the roof of it as well. That. This is what we're doing. Not this, where it's top down. This is pseudo top down. Sometimes top down does do it where it's just guys almost like they're laying down. But this angle where they just like, they stand there like that would be the sprite, is not going to work with this unless if we make them stand up. So that way you can see a bit of their head and then, you know, their body is here. And, you know, you got your little fella that I've been drawing. Okay, anyway. So, that being said, drawing a triangle with those specifications is a bitch to do, and I have no idea how to do it right. I think that what needs to happen as well is I need to maybe lean this puppy back. Like, perspective. Using a perspective grid? Well, the problem as well is like the perspective shifts item by item almost. Does that make sense? Like, the perspective is not going to a consistent point because that point can change consistently. Honestly, that looks a bit more like a triangle than it did before. I'm gonna try and get some, like... I think we merge that down and then we try and fix some of this shit. I don't know what to do. Man, I am in a fucking mood right now. Let me see if I can maybe... Let's open up Godot. You're thinking about point perspective, but this is an oblique projection where the parallel lines are parallel. Right. This is going to be a game called No Fish, a fishing game with no fish. And it's essentially like Go Fish, but also we got, you know, other stuff going on as well. All right, so the front, I mean, let's make one card. Let us make one card correctly. Card empty. Card 2 of hearts. So it'll be the 2 of hearts. Okay. Attach script. This will be will there be any gay fish? Well, if there's fish at all, then some would have to be. It always messes me up that the one that's closer. I don't like this method of doing the cards. Actually, okay, so hold on. Do we need to have... We only need 1 suit's worth doubled. I mean, if we're doing 2 suits, we can do something other than hearts and spades. Yeah, and that's the thing, is there's design space in like all the different suits. All right, well, let's make a new script, and we're gonna call this 2 of hearts. I assume 1 suit is good and 1 suit is bad? No, I was just gonna have 1 suit. We could have more suits, but we don't need them, because it's not really used in Go Fish. The suit is just to let you know that it's a different 2 than the 2 that you held earlier. You know? Which is helpful information, but it's not that helpful. Considering that in this game, there's only going to be 2 of each one. All right, extends node 2D. Cool. Function ready. Okay, so let's just delete all this shit. So let's do funct. String? No. Function. Okay, so what I think I should do is I should have like a value. Value. What should I call this? Function. Okay, we're just gonna go with value of card. And then the other thing that we need is uh It's hard to even wrap my brain around what I'm going to try and achieve with this card. Okay. It should be a variable, I think. Yeah, it's variable card value. Okay, so like I want every card to have a card value, and this one is going to be 2. But like card value is going to be a value or a variable that's everywhere. Do I want a Boolean? Godot documentation. List of features. I want like Godot script. Step by step. Nodes and scenes, creating instances, scripting languages, available scripts, GD script. GD script is an object-oriented imperative programming language. Okay. GD script. Varia. Okay. Class definition. Booleans are true, false. Right, right. Do the cards even need to be numbers? No, but I'm going to make them numbers for now. Well, the thing is, card value needs to be separate for each of these. Like, how do I make it so that way I don't overwrite card value on the next card, which is going to be 3? What are you making? Pairs? Yeah, for the programming side, they need to be numbers anyway, so we might as well call them numbers just to make it easier. Export variable card value int. Huh, really? An export. And that makes it an int. It needs to be an at the start. So what's the at for? Because I'm still very new. Okay, so at is export. What does exporting do? Editable in the inspector doc and save to disk. Okay. I think that instead of doing the card, I should probably have a separate script for just like... Okay, no, we're not going to worry about that right now. Okay, so what is the... Let's see. 2 is draw 2. Is this effect? Okay, that's a nice, easy effect. But what is that attached to? That's attached to rod, I think. Okay, rod. And rod is... switching hands, discard, and draw. Okay, so... Huh. Constant answer 42. The name Charlie. Enum. I don't know what an enum is. Built-in vector types, functions. If then. I don't really want to do if thens here, I don't think. Class something. Apparently, GameStop is trying to rebrand / open brand new GameStop Retro that sells NES to PS3 stuff. That is not a bad idea. That is not a bad idea at all. All right, I'm just gonna put the things down that I need. So the rod is gonna set what the 2 is. Okay, hold on. All right. I need to write this out because my brain's not working. Okay, so what we're trying to achieve is the rod has the ability to is draw more. 3 is fucking something. I don't know what. Well, 4 is both draw and discard 2. Draw, discard. So that means that we need to have a discard pile, a draw pile, a hand. Okay. Recall their failed retro sector where they sold dirty games, counterfeits, etc., even though their games were initially examined and cleaned by their experts. Yeah, that's fucking me getting paid minimum wage. That's what they mean by an expert. Some carts with the wrong game even on them. Yep. They are not tested. They're supposed to be. But I got a line running out the door, and you need your fucking money now, so that shit probably works. So because the rod is gonna tell it so rod needs to tell 2, 3, and 4 what their ability is. Their value can be something else. So I need to have a like a blank spot where it's like ability equals and then blank, where blank is whatever the rod told it to be. And depending on what rod we have assigned depends on what abilities they've got. And so then you just would switch out what rod, lure, and bait you use to get different effects. So that seems like I need to... Is that a class? Or is that a variable? But that's a variable being told from some other spot. Okay, so what if we just go, Two people immediately go, I haven't been to GameStop in like 10 years. God, I wish that were me. So variable. I think I have to make the rod. Fuck! Man, this fucks with my brain so hard. Can I make a script without it being attached to anything? Okay, new script. Rod. Ability. Rod abilities. Okay, no, maybe not rod abilities, maybe like rod. Current rod? Current rod. The thing that I was listening to is saying that you need to have like a consistent way that you write your code. So like all lowercase is some like whatever. Camel humped is a different thing. All uppercase is another thing. And that way you know what like kind of variable or whatever you're working with. Current rod sounds like it should be more of a function than a variable. Okay, so maybe just rod. So what does rod need to do? Rod needs to be able to be told... Okay. So the rod comes equipped with these abilities, and then you've got the lure. And it's 5, 6, 7. It's more of a best practice than a rule. Yeah, it seems like a good practice to do. Then we got 8, 9, 10 for the bait. And so the character will have picked out rod, you know, maybe there's like rod 1, rod 2. We call them more interesting than that, like beginner's rod or whatever. And so like the character needs to select the rod. So like I think the issue is like my brain doesn't know what the order of doing these things is. So if I'm trying, okay, let's start with rod. We're just gonna do rod. Okay. 2 ability for 2s. Ability, this is not correct, I know this, for 3s. Ability for 4s. And the currently selected rod would not... I mean, I could do if else for a whole bunch of... If rod is beginner or whatever, ability for 2, ability for 3, ability for 4, else if... Use comments to sketch this out? All right. So for rod is intermediate. Else... I mean, let's just make it an else... we should probably have like a fail-safe ability for 1, 2, and or 2, 3, and 4. Okay. And I think that each rod is going to be like that. And then 2 of hearts will go... Well, I guess we need to decide what this is called and how this ability works. Which means that we need to decide how drawing cards works, how discarding cards works. Alright, so let's make another script that's just... card activities. And this is gonna be like, draw a card, discard, tutor, protect, how that effect works, redraw, which is just not discard because you put the cards in your hand back in the deck. Or am I making Baltro too? Kind of. Hand manipulation, discard hand, redraw. I think that the bait and all that effects, we can just have a very basic variable that's just like food quality or whatever, you know? And then we just have like a basic number attached to that. And then if that meets a basic check of whatever your fella needs, then you're good. So that I feel like we can just do like, okay, cool. So then we got to decide how draw and redraw that works. So in order to draw, you need two things. You need to have a deck and a hand, which we don't have a deck or a hand. This is going to be a, it's Go Fish, but like Baltro. So then ability for 2, I feel like that this, okay, so this needs to be a function or a variable. You've convinced me to boot up Godot and start making. Good, good. It's a function probably. Okay. So, function, or it's just func. What is function? For functions, it's FUNC. Function, 2 ability? Two ability rod? Is that a good function name? Good enough? The biggest roadblock is having to read all the documentation. I did find this really good video. Hold on. I think it's called like Learn Godot. There's like this guy who's got a really fucking dry video on how to run Godot. Okay, so every node explained in 9 minutes by Lucky is a really solid video. And GD script in 1 hour. Focus on this now, 100 hours. Who's this? Making a game for that no one wants, right? Yeah, I can't find it, but there is a guy who's actually showing that. Brack Eyes also made a okay. Oh, I can do like ability parentheses 2. Well, I mean, isn't this parentheses gonna fuck with it? Maybe we just make it ability 2 like that instead. It's not happy about that, though. I really do just have to read more documentation. All right, let's see if we can figure out how to get a hand together. I need to get a hand and a deck going. I think having the abilities on the card and stuff, card game Godot. Just watch a tutorial. How to make a roguelike deck builder 2 months ago. How long ago was Godot card tutorial made? This was made 4 years ago. That is not going to be accurate. how I fan 3D cards in Godot. Recreated Godot's effects. Literally this stream. Card placing test. Okay. Godot card mechanics. Make a deck builder in Godot. Card shuffle. How I made a deck builder using only 10 lines of code. I doubt this. Okay, well, I'm gonna go get some water. Just call it ability and have it take a variable that determines what ability. Oh, okay, I can do that. The parentheses are required even if they're empty. So ability 2. And that makes it happy about that. And then somewhere we write what actually ability 2 is. With functions, is it going to be like... I mean, I feel like I can just copy this now. Copy. You want to make that 2 a variable, not a hard 2. Like that? You cannot use if statements outside of functions. I see. I see. I'm going to go get some water. Give me just like... It's going to be like 30 seconds. I'm not going to flick anything. 1 minute, maybe. 1 minute to get up and down. The parentheses are for what arguments your function is made. Okay. 1 sec. All right, I'm back. Hey, it's Clown Pubes. How you doing, man? Okay, so my understanding of... Let's see. Clown Pubes in all caps. That means he's doing good. He, she, they, doing good. Okay. So if-then statements only work inside of... Here, let me right-click if. Wait, I can't just like look up what if does?
Power limit, so how much card power you can actually have in your deck at one time. So theoretically, all of the cards you picked up, you can slot in as long as you have the points available to do that. So with that said,
Okay.
appreciate. And if you want to return the favor and do something completely unrelated that I would appreciate,
Casually Creative made this video.
Okay, let's talk about JSON data. So before we get into the 10 magical lines of code to manage the cards, we need some cards to actually manage. Now this may all change later, but for now, the way that I decided to do this is power limit, so how much card power you can actually have in your deck at one time. So theoretically, all of the cards you've picked up,
GD script reference.
Available to do that. So with that said, the first 7 lines of code is essentially just removing everything from the screen and then rebuilding the list based on the class data. I decided to use this kind of kill-fill system because I thought it'd be easier when I start to add in sorting or organization to really just
Where is my documentation page? Online docs. Okay. And what'd you say it was called? Could you link the video in chat? For sure, for sure. GD script reference. No worries, no worries. I wanted this to be like a thing where like we can, as fucking helpful as Rattler and stuff is, I want this to be able to be that for y'all as well. You know? I'm not good enough yet to be able to do that, but
play with the actual class data and then just completely remove the list and rebuild it based on that. I thought it'd be easier than trying to replace or move around different objects. So that's the first 7 lines of code, really just showing stuff on the screen. And the last 3 lines is really where all the magic happens. And in these 3 lines, well, all we really do is toggle a card's active status. It's a Boolean value. We flip it to true or false.
okay. Yeah, that makes sense. The front side of the card and the back side of the card. True and false. Oh, this is Bracky. Yeah, I've seen a bit of it. Okay. All right. So in the card facing. How do I do a Boolean? Bull, face. Variable facing, yeah. Bull. True. One? Is it 1 or 0 for equals true? Okay. It's not happy with that. If facing is equals true, and then I need like whatever I think I could probably make just a code card. It's better to face the... On an if statement, it's a comparison, so you need double equals. Okay, if facing equals true, and then however I show... Alright. Boolean centered, flip, frame, H frames, int, methods, signals, frame change, Boolean centered, true if texture is centered, Boolean H, flipped. Vector. You can drag the line directly from... Wow. That's cool. Else... Is else need to be down here? Else needs to be down there, I think. No, else needs to be up with that. No, it needs to be fucking there? I don't know. I don't know what the... It's something needs to happen to it, but I don't know what yet. So we're going to figure that out in a second. Visibility. Can I... Are you kidding me? I can do that? That's so easy. Why do you think that it's dot visible instead? Variable dot property. Visible is the property. So the first thing is the variable, which is just one of these things, which GD scripts just like that. Visible is true. And in order to have... It might be worth making it just that way back is... No, it's literally got to be front, whether or not front is visible or... Okay. Front is visible, else... This has got to be the thing that changes. Front visible, false. Lowercase, false. Okay. Can I play just this scene? You're not happy. Unexpected if. Yes, I'm sure. You need to put an if in the function. So in order for there to be a function, if statements and changing properties need to occur inside, right? So variable... Well, we don't want to say whether or not it's true or not, right? So can we just do this? Variable facing Boolean, and then we don't know if it's true or not? Function process delta runs every... It defaults to false. True. That's good. I like that. I'm fine with that. Oh, right. That's the... And then it's... Yeah, it's not happy about this. So in order to get the if... So the if needs to be in the variable. So that means that we just need to... This is a... I need to hit tab some. I also need colons at the end of the... Okay. Right, because this is how you... Okay. Done? You need to put it into a function block. All right, retry. Okay, it's still not happy. What are you not happy about? 2 of hearts at no idea what that means. So it doesn't know what it's doing through here, right? Okay, well, that does collect all that. You need the function. Yep, that needs to be a function. And the function, okay, so we have the variable Boolean fate. Okay, let me bring up this thing again. Cards, active and activist. Function, I don't really want to have the variable function, or the variable facing and the function facing. Okay, so the function needs name current facing, maybe? Name it penis. We're not naming it penis. True, comma, false, lowercase false, check facing instead of current. That makes sense. Don't forget at the end of this needs to be that. Okay, so we got true here and false. These are the 2 things that it can be. And if the facing is true, then you make it good. But the facing right now is inside the parentheses. You need a name for the variable, not the variables themselves. I need to read some more code documentation. I have no idea what the fuck is happening right now. Those are your parameters, not your variables. When defining a function, the parameters are whatever the function can receive. Okay. Offline documentation, frequently asked questions, manual, getting started, step by step. Introduction. I just want to look at the script. Like, where's your learn to code with GD script? Overview of coding. That is not it. First 2D game, prerequisites. Coding the player, coding the enemy, main game, setting up the project. Dodge the creep source code. I need to bring up chat again. When defining a function, the parameters are whatever the function can receive. Facing is a Boolean. And if we're checking the facing, so you can just pass the name of the variable without defining it. So wait. Your input that you do stuff with to produce... For instance, a function that adds parameters a and b is defined as function add ab, then whatever is below is probably return A plus B. Okay, so this should be check facing front or back? Front, back? This? I don't think it's been told what front and back mean. I'm still trying to find the documentation about Godot code. I just want to look at the different like code stuff that you've got here. Learn to code from 0. Oh. What the fuck is this shit? Function shoot. So we don't need actually to find this thing then. Can we just not? This looks really cool. I'm gonna okay, I'm gonna go back one. Okay, I'm copy pasting this into chat. That looks super useful. Parameters can be empty. Do I need parameters right now? Because it kind of doesn't seem like I do, because I don't know what the fuck they are. Check facing. True, false. Okay, I want to just see if this runs. Even if it does fucking nothing. Do you work? No, you're still mad at me. Why? Because of else? Because of function? Because of... Okay, so if... Else also needs... Oh. Retry? So it defaults to false, you said, but it isn't false. Also, that card is like, who the fuck knows where it went. All right, let's bring it here. And then bring this also here. Okay, hold on. That's 0, 0. That's the top right. Yeah. And so that means that we need to have the position be 40 or something. Okay. We'll just like put it here-ish. And then try and figure out what number. Where are you? Ordering, texture, visibility, transform, one change. Okay. So this is probably 85 by 120. $80 by 120. Why can I see this card under the other card? If theoretically they're at the same spot. Where is it if not? Oh, it's 85, right. You got a camera 2 node and main? I do, yeah. The main doesn't actually have any of the card stuff in it yet. It's just like this fella who can run around in a empty world. But I need to get the card game stuff going. Honestly, this code looks like card code, not 2 of Hearts code. But like we can like have multiple different scripts apply to the same thing, right? Or do we just make a, like, I don't know. Also, I'm going to check my phone real quick to see if my wife is okay. You can have a single script for all cards. That's kind of what I'm thinking, man. Okay, and then, so we've defined this variable. I'm just gonna say, facing equals false. Unexpected identifier. So you're not happy with me just telling you it's false. I just wanted it to go false right off the bat. Okay, it's not happy about that. Are you happy now? Yeah, it's happier about that. Okay. So wait. It's defaulting to false, which means that it's not showing the... Oh, wait, no, that's because I did that. All right. Wife check? She's not home yet. But there's nothing, no text yet. I think once she gets home, we're going to stop. All right, so that's a card. And it can either be facing forward or back. You need to call this function somewhere else. Yeah, I mean, check facing is never run. Right, so it's never going to flip, right? Well, the check facing needs to be done by other things. For instance, when you draw it, you change that specific card's facing to, like, true. You really want something like function ready check facing. What's the point of this and where does this go? Okay, this probably needs to be like further down. Just messing with this just so I can see if I understand. Okay, cool. So that does work. So it just defaults to false if that's the case. Okay, cool. An engine has predefined function names that will call... Okay. So, function ready. This is just like a function that is always running. Where did this come from? Called when the node ready. If the node has children, ready gets called back. Okay. So this is just like a general, like, when the node is done roading. Okay. Can I change the name of this to, like, card? Huh. Edit. It doesn't seem like it wants you to change the name. You have to rename it in the file system in the bottom left. Okay, got it. It's over here. 2 of hearts. Rename. Card. Script. All right, what else does the card script need to do? This just checks its facing, which we can we can fuck with. Export variable card value int. Where do I assign this card its value? On the node where you attach the script. The one all lowercase. Hey, Android, I'm a bit out of it as well. Just surviving as best as I can. Okay, so somewhere else in this. So can I add another script to the same card? Like, part of me wants to reload that one script. card script, card activities, and rod. Oh yeah. Okay. Rename. Functions and such should all be uppercase. You're doing great, I'm sure. We're making it through. We're making it through. Let me see if I can... I mean, if I want to add another script... Can I do that? Or can you only have one script? File name should be like this. Function should be like this. You know what? I'm going to do that. So that way it's consistent with the way you do things. Because it does not matter. And it's good to just have that consistent. If that's what other people do, then that's what I'm going to do to make it so that way I learn good behaviors as well. Okay. Progress, however, marginal is progress. We can delete this dino sprite. It doesn't need to be in here anymore. Player character main icon. We can, okay, that's an easy one to change, but we probably don't do that. I prefer camel case. I like camel case for some things. I want to have different, like snake case for this, camel case for that. If that's the way people do it, and that's like a good best practice, I believe you on that. I'll do that. I think I'm probably gonna load up whatever that thing is that I showed you guys there for like half a second.
False, depending on what it was previously, and we only let you flip it to true if you have the card points available to do so. That's really all there is. There's not a lot to it. This is not a very complex card system.
But don't those function calls push it over 10 lines of code?
Well, I mean, yeah, but they're basically one-line functions, which I could write all in one line, but I'm pretty sure writing code that horrendous is against the Geneva Convention or something, and I'd probably lose the respect of anyone who's ever coded anything in their life. And full transparency,
Naming conventions,
I did
gotcha.
have to add a few other lines of code to add the text for the card name and description to the UI elements. And don't hate me for this, but I added even more lines to make the code readable and... to make it up to you, that's really lines of code. And hey, that's good enough for the clickbait. Unless this video just does really poorly, in which case I lied. You got something that worked, and you kind of understood it, but cards and a simple way to just... Okay, let's talk about JSON data. So before we get into the 10 magical lines of code to manage the cards, we need some cards to actually manage. Now this may all change later, but for now, the way that I decided to do this is to store all of the data I need in JSON files.
Oh, there's a style
take
guide.
that JSON data and load it into some type of class within the code. So as I worked through this, I ended up coming up with two files. One that's just a dictionary list of all possible cards in the game with their basic metadata.
So, okay, so should the JSON be... Should we have a JSON for the rods and a JSON for the list of cards in it?
Right.
Oh, I need to renew my Texas driver's license. Welcome home, my love. No, it doesn't really do much in here. JSON might be overkill for this. What info do the cards need? What their abilities are. So like the 4 has the ability to both draw and discard. So like, I mean, my understanding of a JSON is it's like a function, but hardcore. You know? Also with my wife home, Rev will never sit through a lecture where the teacher talks endlessly about how the entire program for the lunar lander in 69 fits on the memory size of a Casio calculator. Yeah. JSON is for more static data load. So I mean, like, if I just want to list stuff like this, then that's pretty chill. They don't do anything on their own, they just hold data. Got it. Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and go for now. And I'll probably... Okay, well, real quick, how do I add a JSON? I'm gonna call them JSONs. I don't know what they're actually... How you're supposed to pronounce that. I don't give a shit. It isn't a function. You have to do it in function. It's more of a storage fan. Okay. It is Jason. That's how you pronounce it. I think I'm gonna like watch this guy's thing and try and get all the different cards and such. But that's gonna be it for me for now. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching.